Right. Right. Gotta run. Gratitude Orloff here, January 28th, 2021, in the year of our Lord, approximately, somewhere around that date. Up here today in room 1, floor 7 of the Gratitude Orloff building, which is the Bronze Age, copper, or whatever the hell came after Bronze Age, and there might even be a few of whatever the hell they call the current era, Nightmare Age, variant cover age. Might even actually be a few comics from today up here, but right now, yeah, like here's a recent comic, but it's probably 10 years old. But it looks recent to me. But, you know, Mike Allred, I always get Mike Allred stuff. So let's see, it went in wonderfully. This is a sleeve I won from Night Tiger Comics at during the Christmas party, so that's cool. As I do have some comics from today. We're gonna have some family visiting or possibly staying for a while with us starting later on this evening, and so well, we could just stay upstairs and in one of the rooms, and but I don't think they really have an idea, nor do you really, that that this is the state of room 1 of so there's not even a bed in here, so this is going to be organized, but it's going to take a while. Room 2 is the cat lair with the movie theater screen, and room 3 is where I've been broadcasting from primarily the last few weeks, where I've been organizing the Silver Age, and there's not a bed in there. There's a blow-up mattress, but there's 3 people coming to visit, so we've got to. So they're going to have to take over the master bedroom, and we're going to have to figure it out. So, but right now, let's get these comic sleeves, shall we? So, I don't have many backing boards here. Tomorrow I get, well, tonight at midnight I get paid, so then I've got to immediately get some pet supplies. Silver Age board, Modern Age bag, does not work. Hell, I'll just leave these, and when I get some boards tomorrow, when I get paid tonight at midnight, I will, yeah. That goes in fine. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Oh. You expect me to show you the covers, do you? It's Ripley's Believe It or Not. Which today, to the today's generation, they think of that as a chain of sleazy little museums, but it was a it was a comic strip, that little panel that showed you weird things and anomalies, and of course here it's turned into horror stories. But yeah, Robert Ripley was a household name at one point 80 years ago, at a time that is no longer happening. I am incredibly tired. Yesterday I went to a funeral, and we were there for hours afterwards at a restaurant where family and friends sat around talking and having Irish nachos and things. Sad Sack Laugh Special. I've forgotten what I was doing in this room, and that's not necessarily a good thing. There was a method to my madness, and I've forgotten the method and the madness remains. Looks like I was organizing things in a box, and then I was putting it into the greater or alphabetized stuff. Okay. Gotta get my bearings here. Well, I think the first thing I can do is start getting some of these magazines into this empty box. So I think I'll do that. So, Famous Monsters of Filmland, number 129. Creepy 38. There's a special little thing about public schools. Remember doing that back in the days when people still cared about our country. Mad Special Spring 71. One of my, I think this was the first Mad I ever got. I'm pretty sure. That's not my childhood copy. I still have that, but The Rook is a great comic. Okay, so let's get these into the box. Another eerie. All right. Now, what is going on here? Oh, I kind of remember. Last time we were here, I was showing you this Jim Steranko art, pre-production art for Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I was filing these. So, Thor 222, which I have several copies of. Uncanny Tales from the Grave. Unexpected. 179. Let's see, 158, 177, 179, 186, 190, 214, 'The Unknown Soldier, U.S. Agent, number 1. Okay. So we're up to Vault of Evil. I think this is 18. Vault of Evil 19. War is Hell, number 15. Weird Wonder Tales 16. Weird Wonder Tales 17. $22. Where Monsters Dwell. $8.16. Okay, what is going on here? I see. Okay. Okay. Ripley, Sad Sack, Silver Surfer.
What lies beneath may be the end. 20th Century Fox takes you beneath the planet of the apes.
There's a horribly beat up copy of Conan 74. I don't even. This must have come in a pack of damaged comics. I bought too many of those. Now it's just kind of depressing.
With James Franciscus, Kim Hunter, Maurice Evans, Linda Harrison, and Charlton Heston. Can a world long endure, half ape, half man? The answer lies deep beneath the planet of the apes.
Sad Sack number 229. I was just never that big a fan of Sad Sack. It never seemed to have the charm or to really fit in with the other Harvey characters. I don't know.
Super strong, supernatural, and super bad. His punch can topple a skyscraper. His kick can split the earth in two. More destructive than an earthquake, mightier than a tidal wave.
What am I doing?
One-man disaster area. Dr. Block and Mr. Hyde. When you're seeing what ain't, you're looking at a Hank. Shot full of lead and he still ain't dead. Jump back, Jack, for your skull is cracked. Dr. Block and Mr. Hyde. Starring Bernie Casey, Rosalind Cash, Stu Gillum, directed by William Blackula Crane. Dr. Block and Mr. Hyde. Rated R, under 17, not admitted without parents, so bring your mama, she'll like it too.
There's the Shadow number 3 from DC.
FM coming to you from Grotuville, here in Grotuville, Tennessee. Fucking,
This was,
playing lots of great records for you here.
you got Mike Kaluta and Bernie Wrightson doing the art. It's like just great stuff. I think it's, this one's not in very good shape. Well, haven't gassed my car up in a while because I haven't been going many places. But I don't know. I think gas is already going up pretty significantly with Sheena. This may be the worst episode ever because I'm just not really in a jovial mood. I just got to get this stuff done. Detective Comics 520. Oh, it's got a special preview of Masters of the Universe. Really? I don't know. Maybe this has value to people that were children in that era. Frogger ad on the back. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know they had a preview of Masters of the Universe in Detective Comics, and I don't even remember DC doing a Masters of the Universe comic book. That may have been one of the things that started to make me sick, seeing the comics get so commercialized. I know Marvel did a lot of toys, Micronauts, which was good, and they did Shogun Warriors and something else. Sectars, did they do that? I think so. This is a 530. $5.45. Richard Pryor introducing the kitty cartoons for that season. He's a great comedian. It's a shame he couldn't control his habits. I never thought I'd see all that happen to Bill Cosby. You know, Richard Pryor, when he first started, was basically just kind of doing a Bill Cosby routine, and then it got a little bit more real and obscene, and he developed his own style. This is 556. I don't know if I just showed it to you or not. He was in love with a vampire back then. I remember that. I don't remember her name. Was it Nocturna? I don't remember. An offbeat bat tale by award-winning author Harlan Ellison. 567. I think usually when that says that, it just means Harlan Ellison came up with the idea and then someone else actually wrote it. It's usually not his actual word for word. Here's Detective 598. I think that was 89. 598. This one has a Dick Sprang cover. Unfortunately, he's not drawing Batman look like he's traditionally drawn. Yeah, that was really a brilliant idea to use Dick Sprang to do some covers there for a while. I should have been doing it all along. It's a shame when there's a great artist out there and they're not being used during their lifetime. Then everyone regrets it when they're gone. It's 622. But he had a style from another era, and maybe that didn't sell comics. I don't know. Here's another Dick Sprang cover. That's so cool. It's 624. I can't seal these up yet because I'm going to put boards in them. Okay, 652 is a cheesecake cover. The Huntress. Yeah, with that, remember that idiotic shit.
You're listening to Radio Gratu, 106.9 FM, WFUN.
You know, I liked the Catwoman in that second Batman movie, but I didn't like the Penguin portrayal. Really pissed me off was Tim Burton's Dark Shadows movie. That was so shitty. This is a cool cover. 570. Here's 633. I don't remember this video game system. I'm gonna try to use all these bags that are here that are just sticking around. There's like bags all around. I'm gonna try to get them all used up during this episode, so I can start all over with new packs, because they're just, these bags are confusing me. They're different sizes, and okay, 653. Oh. 656. Looks like in 93 I was still buying these pretty consistently. I just don't really remember. 93. I guess that was right after the second Tim Burton Batman movie came out. And I was, I guess I was in my late 20s. Yeah. Here's 878. Pretty tasteless cover, I think. I don't like seeing the heroes with blood everywhere on the covers of these comics. So just call me crazy. Okay. And this cover is pretty nuts looking. And this is what Kiss looked like by that time period. The new album available everywhere. This is 92. Interesting. Okay. Here's some My Light. I don't know what it was. I just put this in a My Light. I don't know why it's not like it's on top is why. Devil Dinosaur #1. There's Jack Kirby deal. I think they brought Devil Dinosaur back as but he's with a girl now or something. I don't know. Man, this bag's way too big. Is that that can't be a Golden Age bag. I'll put it in one of these bags. This wasn't a comic that had any value. It was more of a joke for many years. I don't know, maybe people collect it now. But I remember it was just a quarter bin comic. Got a Howard the Duck ad. I bought Howard the Duck every month. All right. Oh, did I even show you this? Devil Dinosaur #3. How exciting. The fuck? It's got a torn back cover, and it looks like that was a childhood attempt at repairing the tear. How much of a child was I? 78? What, 12? 78 I would have been. 12? Oh, then it's not a 9.8 anymore. Oh no. Here's the fucking shit.
WFUN. More fun for the Donald Trump lover.
When I did all those station IDs, I was pretty sure that somehow Trump was gonna, and people still say, well, he's gonna come back, don't worry, and this and that's gonna happen. Space aliens are going to appear and give disclosure and tell us all what's really been going on, and Biden's not really in the White House. It's just a prop. It's just a set from something called Castle Rock. It's not real. It's all an illusion, guys. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, every day gets a little more depressing. And I've got to really work. I don't know what time it is, but they're going to be getting into a car, and it's going to take them 4 hours to get here, and then we're going to have family here, and I got to get, this phone's probably going to run out of juice, so let me see about putting you in a different location where, see, I just plugged it in. Boy, my hair looks terrible. Hold on. I just think about the country used to be a wonderful place at one time when this music was produced. What a damn shame. me find a way to sit down here.
It's a mystery sale, but it's no mystery. Biggest bargains in history.
Well, you're still here. You must like this show if you're still here, because this is a rather depressing episode of the Great Gratu Orloff program. Okay. Med number 134. Crazy number 14. I'm going to open that up. I think I already opened it up last time. Or did I? I don't know. It's open, so it must have been open.
6 foot 2 inches of black beauty. She handles a car like a gun. She handles a gun like a man. And she handles a man.
Yeah, in the early issues
Cleopatra Jones.
of Crazy,
She's hunting for the head of the most vicious
you had,
crime
like,
syndicate ever
you know,
conceived.
Will Eisner art,
Shelley Willis.
and you had Maurice Severin art,
Cleopatra Jones.
and
Cleopatra Jones is gonna put her on a permanent
it was, yeah, I already showed this to you.
Tamara Dotson is Cleopatra Jones. She drives a custom fit, wears clothes by St. Angelo.
Yeah, it was,
Connoisseur of freedom.
Steve Gerber, editor, Marv Wolfman, boss,
Cleopatra Jones.
Roy Thomas, big boss.
Music by Joe Simon and Bill Jackson.
Yeah.
From Warner Brothers. PG.
I say for the first,
Ah, memories.
at least maybe through issue 20, after issue 20, Crazy was just not much better than Sick. But you get an early issue, they've got some pretty good artwork and satire in them. "13, 16,
It's a boy. It's a dog. That's my baby. Here I am in a living episode. I'm a wild man, has to carry this road. He used to be a Christian, she loved the man.
I've seen the Screen Thrills Illustrated. Let's take a look at it. God damn it. Oh, look, you can get a pith helmet. Hypnotism record. Portable electric megaphone. You can be your own Alex Jones. That's the type mask that I want right now. I want to go into Aldi or Kroger wearing that mask. The ads, this is a Warren magazine. The ads are different than what you see in the horror magazines. They're a little automatic that shoots flames, your own Kong. I always look at the ads first in Warren magazines. It's actually cheering me up a little bit. Yeah. Own your own LP records, Phantom of the Opera, on 8mm or 16mm. But basically inside are cool stills from movie serials, and it's basically Famous Monsters, but more concentrating on movie serials and adventure films, and all about Republic Studios, and you don't see this very often. But for some reason, there's tons of them at Duncanville Books. Some are in the $2 bin, some that are in a little bit better shape are in the $5 bin. And it's just weird. Someone must have had a big collection of them and sold them to them. And so, but you know, I just never have seen them over the years. And maybe they're all over eBay, I don't know. But if it's something that appeals to you, and old movie serials are great. And I think a lot of them are probably now on YouTube. Republic serials are especially great. Here are just some more Mads. This is more trash from Mad number 8. And, the fall 1970 Mad special. It used to be I would go in a store. The first place I would go was the newsstand, and I would look for a new Mad. And it was just, there's nothing like the dopamine rush that you get when you saw a new issue of Mad on the stands. And that's the way it was, and I still do that. Even to this day, when I go into a store, the first place I want to go is the newsstand. Even though I know there are no good magazines published anymore, nothing, I still go there. It's just an instinctive urge to do that. So that's the way it was. More trash. More trash from Mad 157. Oh, I'll show you them. I have a bunch of copies of this issue. Especially if I'm getting it for a couple of bucks, you know.
The greatest music ever recorded. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here on Radio Gratu 106.9 FM.
What's new, pussy?
Oh. What now?
Pussy, pussy, I love you.
Oh.
Yes, I do. You sweet
These are Silver Age coverless comics that need to go in the other room. You know, they're in terrible condition. The Fat Flash, you know, the Hopalong Cassidy.
Pussy, pussy, I've got flowers and lots of hours to spend with you. So go and powder your cute little pussy. Pussy, pussy, I love you.
Shit. God. These bags are so damn slippery.
You and your pussy. You and your pussy.
How did we wind up in 2021? Such a depressing world. And then I'm getting a phone call from Bangladesh. 88017. Oh my god. We get a phone call from Bangladesh. See, that's my phone I'm recording on. It says Bangladesh is calling me. This is what I'm talking about. Bangladesh, indeed. We're starving. Send us some money, please. George Harrison's not having concerts anymore for us. That's right, because he's not alive. Bangladesh. Look. How dare they? Oh, yeah, right. Bangladesh. Oh, my childhood copy of this. It's a Whitman Three Stooges. One of the oldest comics in my collection. And look how they got the little monsters in the back. I mean, doesn't get much better than this, folks. My wife and I got into a discussion with some old friends yesterday, and about politics, and that didn't go well at all, because you assume everyone has the same good taste that you do, and then it's like, I think Joe Biden is the kindest, gentlest, most wonderful man in the world. I love him. Holy shit. Do you watch the... Are you aware that women were instructed to never get on an elevator or into an office alone with him, or Ted Kennedy, or some other guy? That was the mandate. You know, you just do not do that. And it was a pointless discussion. It did not end well, and I don't know. I don't need to be red pilling anybody. Here's Metal Men. They're back. The Occult Files of Dr. Spectre. This cover image I've seen used multiple places. Saw someone on Facebook using it as a band flyer for their podcast. They use that image. Okay. So, would you file this under O or D? Occult Files of, well, because it says Doctor, I'll put it under D. God damn, I hate the world. You know, just when I find a house that looks wonderful and what seems like a wonderful community, it's like, no, we can't move there because the governor of that state is such a horrible creep. Talking about Virginia. And nobody. Uncanny Tales from the Grave.
Making radio great again. Radio Gratu.
Uncanny Tales, number 2. Shanna the She-Devil, 5.
It's a dog. Oh, that's my baby.
Our Love Story. Dead of Night, 4. It's making me nervous having the water bottle around these comics. So I wanted to consume it as quickly as possible. Let's do some grading, shall we? What rating would you assign? I'm thinking like maybe a 9.0. It's in pretty good shape. I'd say very good condition, right? It's okay, you know. It's pretty good. It just needs a cleaning and a press, I think. This is when you bought those Wounded Wonder packages at the old Lone Star Comics. You might get a comic with just some slight damage where it's coverless, but then worst case scenario, you get something like this that looks like it went through a hurricane. I mean, you can read the whole story. It's just, you know, they call them reading copies, but if you feel like gross holding it, it's not really a fun reading copy. A reading copy should be clean enough that you can hold it in your hands without feeling, I need to wash my hands, man. Charlton Top Cat, number 9. Now I'm starting to get a headache. Charlton Top Cat, number 16.
Nightmares leap from the stage. All lights go out and the monsters are released from their coffins. They make
World's worst episode of the Gratu show. I'm just so depressed.
Extra on stage, back from the grave. The spirit materialization of Bruce Lee, King of Kung Fu. It's real. On stage, not a movie. You may need help. Help! Help! Tonight, White Horse Auditorium
There's some
Theater.
good stuff. Maybe. More Charlton. Pebbles and Bam Bam. Except he's cheating on Pebbles. Seriously, I just want to move to the hills and become a hillbilly. Drink that good old Mountain Dew. It'll tickle your innards. It'll make you feel like you were shot with a shotgun. Wahoo! That good old tasting Mountain Dew. Oh, more magazines. The Rook is a great, outstanding thing. Number 6. They took a lot of shots in the dark, Warren Publications, with all these heroes they tried to, weird heroes they tried to create. And The Rook was really good, and The Rook would have made a good movie. Oh, 14th annual Sick Annual from 1974. This issue is for the birds. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Since I'm feeling sick. Listen to fallen asleep last night to a guy on YouTube talking about how China and Russia are going to invade the country and how they're already all positioned to do it, and it's like they already did all. It's like, oh, that was, and so that was fun. Well, this is pretty thick. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. These record labels, unfortunately, are printed too small to actually put on a record. Although the idea is a good one, I think it was done better by some other humor magazine. Here they got a fake newspaper for hard hat workers, Hard Hat Herald. Let's see, at this point in 1974, who was behind this? You know, during the 60s, Joe Simon was the editor, the co-creator of Captain America. And here you can tell it's just a complete mad ripoff. I mean, of course, it's all it ever was, but there's good mad ripoffs and bad mad ripoffs. See, the quality of the reproduction of the artwork is real bad. It's like a photocopy of a photocopy. It has, this is its centerfold. Kid stickers. Never trust anyone over 16. Lower the voting age to 8. Burn your report card. Wow. They got the Adolf Hitler songbook, and they really went with this joke, huh? They got all these songs for you to sing. In the camp where you live, sung to on the street where you live. And then they have a picture of a, wow, I mean, it really is starting to live up to its name. That's a little, ooh, Monster Movie Fan Magazine. This is, these are reprints from older issues, and some of these may be reprints from the Joe Simon era. But you don't go into a physical brick and mortar store very often and see copies of Sick. But I did, and I got this very cheap recently at Duncanville Books. And if I see a copy of Sick, I'm going to pick it up, especially if it's like $1 or $2.
Rocketing up to number 5 on the Groucho Orlov hit parade. Here's one of your all-time favorite songs.
Sick. Here's when Don Martin defected to Cracked. I wonder what that was about. Was it just pay? Summer of '92. Okay, here's Spaceman number 5, another Warren deal. YouTube sure has been scrubbed. A lot of the channels I follow are no longer around, and they've been They've been taken down. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and get up here. Charge on it. Get back to what I was up to. Okay. Marvel's Greatest Comics. Yeah, I'm putting these in as part of the Galactus trilogy. Pebbles and Bam Bam. This isn't the song I thought it was when I got it from YouTube. There's a song that Steve Bannon uses on his podcast of War Room. And almost every commercial break, they have this song, Take Down the CCP, but it's not this rap thing. It's better than this. Because Steve Bannon's channel, I think, is financed by this billionaire professional soccer player who's idolized in China. And he considers himself to be the future ruler of China. He wants to take down the Communist Party and become the leader. And so he sponsors that conservative Steve Bannon stuff. The Chinese people are wonderful. It's just they've got a really wicked, evil, satanic, basically, government right now. And unfortunately, JB is bought and sold by them. And so that's not a good thing. But we'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of people really depressed right now and kind of feeling lost and angry and betrayed, but there's still people that say just be patient. Things are going to work out. But they may have told that to people when China went communist. Just be patient. It'll work out. Just not in your lifetime. Dr. Spectre.
Here, the infamous rack was employed to
Metal Man.
the prisoner out of his puny body into
Our Love Story. Shanna the Shit. Scheisse. What am I doing? I lost my mind. I thought that was the last Detective Comics. No, it isn't. Okay, Dr. Spectre, Metal Men, Dr. Spectre, Marvel's Greatest Comics, Metal Men, Our Love Story, Pebbles and Bam Bam, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Sad Sack, Shanna the She-Devil, no, Shadow, Sheena, Shanna before Sheena, Three Stooges.
That's why I can't eat a bite. Those flaming eyes, that's flaming you. Oh, mister,
Top Cat.
tell me the truth. Now ain't you true?
Okay, Uncanny Tales.
I ask you confidentially, ain't she? Ain't she nice?
2, 3.
I ask you confidentially, ain't she nice?
Oh shit. Fantastic Voyage needs to be in the other room.
Ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? I ask you confidentially, ain't she?
What are these?
Tell me where have you seen one just like that? I declare, that
Marvel
you're
Premiere number 9.
Oh boy, how sweet those lips must be. Oh, please on it, doggone it, answer me. See you coming down the street. I ask you.
I appreciate those of you that come along with me during these and watch and put all the comments down below, and I think that's really neat. Keeps me motivated. Okay. Chilling Adventures in Sorcery number 3. It started as a Sabrina comic. All-Star Comics 64. I have the issue with the first Power Girl. It's just not, it's in one of those boxes. 65. They hadn't yet put the little cutout section that shows her cleavage for all the fanboys. Superboy 185.
I repeat, don't you think that's kind of mean? I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet?
It's a great big highlight
Superman Family 164.
for a sale of the month.
Oh, here's the first issue, Chilling Adventures in Sorcery. Fantastic Four 141. Dr. Spectrum 142. Chilling Adventures in Sorcery, another copy. There's this Cerebus thing. It's just interviews with the creator of Cerebus and stuff. And then Dave Sim interviews Harvey Kurtzman and things like that. I'll file it under CE for Cerebus. I only have a few issues of Cerebus. I have a couple real early issues of that. Marvel 2-in-1. Marvel 2-in-1. Conan 39. Amazing Spider-Man 117. Goes under Amazing. Scamp. Don't know the number. It's a Whitman variant. As far as variant covers go, this is as much of the cover I want to see vary. I don't want to see the entire image on the cover vary, because then how do people in the future collect that comic? How do they recognize what issue is what? I mean, it doesn't even make any sense to me. cool. Well, this is 15. This is a 15-cent Richie Rich. I need to put it in the other room. Cool. Here come TV's Super Friends. That's kind of unfortunate. Right, they reprint Crisis on Earth 3 and Golden Age stories. I mean, this is quite a fun package. 100 pages. Let's find a bag for it. Alright, it's bagged. Hooray. Dennis the Menace visits Paris. Ooh. Yeesh. This is not very good condition. It's readable though, and it's was well loved over the years, but it's gonna need a pretty wide bag. Okay, I'm gonna take this to the Silver Age room where it needs to be filed for all eternity. New Terry tunes with Heckle and Jekyll. Everything I love is part of the past, man. It's like, in movies, I was always a movie lover, and it's like, do I want to go to movie theaters now? I mean, movie theaters aren't really open that much, but, you know, the AMC near me is open, but this comic needs to be in a wider bag. It's like, what's coming out that's interesting? Do I really get excited over a movie where Godzilla fights King Kong and Godzilla doesn't look like Godzilla and King Kong doesn't really look like King Kong, and they love to have all the CGI fights at night. I guess it makes it, they think, more realistic. And all the movies are just really made for an audience in China, and they're I still like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Those movies are getting delayed, and increasingly they just seem to become more politically correct, social justice warrior fest like the comic books are. But for the most part, I mean, they're amazing, the Marvel movies. that's about the only thing that even interests me anymore. And there's some good TV shows, but I don't know of any music coming out today that's interesting. I'm not excited about movies. When I go to stores, I buy old records, I buy old comics, I watch old stuff. I don't have much interest in this year 2021. I want to exist in a little cocoon, a little cave where everything is 50, 60 years ago, 70 years ago. And meanwhile, the time keeps passing, and I just want to go off somewhere, some little town where it still feels like the 1950s and people are not nuts, and there's not crime, and they do exist. I just need to escape. Never thought I'd see such an assault on freedom of speech. And I'm sick of people saying, well, they're private companies, they can do whatever they want. Idiots. What is this stuff? Oh. Amazing Adventures. Reprinting. Oh, I can actually seal this one. It's an X-Men reprint from the late... it's a late 70s reprint of early 60s X-Men. I don't think it has any value as far as I know. Ooh, these are some good ones. This is a showcase when they brought back the Doom Patrol. Here's Mr. Miracle, number 11. Let's see if it fits in all these bags. I gotta contact Captain Strangelife because I get paid tonight, and then I need to send him $20 for some comic books. I got all this information. I gotta get on that. And I keep saying I'm going to contact Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills and talk with him. He lives in the same state. This bag, that's too doesn't fit in that bag. There's Red Wolf number 9. Red Wolf number 8. Okay. Pebbles. Red Wolf. But I am, one of the few things that gives me, that's fun for me, is to watch people on YouTube and talking about comics and movies. And so, Amazing Adventures goes before Spider-Man. Dennis the Menace. Dead of Night. Dennis the Menace Detective Comics. Okay. Chili. Let's see if this board fits. Yeah. Chili. Terry Tunes. Let's see if this board fits in this Justice League. We're getting some progress done here. I have no idea what time it is. The sun's still up, so. This is the second issue of the revived Doom Patrol and Showcase. Okay. Showcase with Power Girl. Space Family Robinson. This is a childhood copy. I miss my family, my mom and dad and my oldest brother and my only living brother. I have no idea how to get in contact with him. This is a Space Family Robinson. This is a childhood copy. This was such a wonderful country. And when these comics came out, at least it seemed like it was to me. Maybe I was naive. You know.
What makes my heart burn upside down and my head goes spinning?
Shit. This is a great cover. That's what happens when a country abandons God. And people just don't even know how bad it's gonna get. It's just like, gosh, gasoline prices gone up. Yeah. Okay, Strange Tales featuring Johnny Cash, Brother Voodoo. I've got another copy that's in better shape. This is not a good quality copy. Monsters Dwell. Wonderful stuff. Yeah. Vault of Evil, Weird, Western, Weird Wonder Tales, Western Gunfighters, Western Kid, Gunfighters 21, 16, Where Monsters Dwell, 31, Strange Tales 169. Time Warp was a good comic. I know this, for those of you that are younger, newer to comics collecting, you know, in the 60s they'd put date stamps to let people, the retailers would put a date stamp so they'd know when they should pull the comic because it had been on sale long enough. They started putting different colored little dye there on these comics in the 70s, and then the retailer would just look for a certain color on a certain date and pull all the comics with that color from the top, and that's what that is. It's not a defect or a problem for the comic. It's just the way they did it at that time. This is from March 1980. When comics were still sold on newsstands. Of course, they didn't do that on comics that went direct to comic shops because they couldn't return their comics. They were stuck with them. If they didn't sell it, then they'd just have to put it in their, wait and hope that it'll gain value or wind up getting rid of it in their discount bins. This is a modern comic, but it's a throwback to the 60s where the GIs fought the dinosaurs. This is an underground comic, but it's historical. It's the true story of Juan and Seguin and the Texas Mexicans after San Jacinto. So, yeah, my grandfather lived in Seguin, Texas, named after this guy. So, it's a Texas history deal. It's so it's not like it's a sequel to this Alamos comic. I'm not sure that it's acceptable to be used in a classroom. I'm sure it's got something in it that's a little bit adult, but I need to reread this. It's actually something I haven't read in a long time. I need to read it. Won't fit. This has a lot of water damage. Ooh, what's that coloring page of Underdog? It's an Underdog comic. But yeah, someone went through a little bit of a horrible flood at some time in its life. My love. Ooh, isn't that cool? Look at this. I want to get more romance comics, but they're not often in stores. You gotta mail order them because store owners don't think they sell. Probably because they don't. To normal people. There's like maybe one or two guys in every major city that maybe collect them, and unless they shop in your store, they sit for generations in your racks. Shit. This is fucking too. Fuck. Yeah. Remember Prez #1, which was the first teen president of the USA. It's a knockoff of the movie Wild in the Streets. Like Commandy was a knockoff of Planet of the Apes. This is a cool deal, as old Batman stories from like every decade. They just reprinted some stories that they already had ready for their hardcover, like archive editions. But it's a neat thing. Okay. Oh, those are all new Doom Patrols. I'll see you guys next time.